Welcome back to What Arty Noobs for general disturbance. This is the Kanonenjagdpanzer 105. It's a Tier 8 German premium tank destroyer. It's located on the north spawn of Malinovka under the command of BertholomaeusRexodus. Well, there is a 44 and times 2 in there, but he's never explained what that's about. Okay, well, this is a German tank that actually was produced. I say tank, actually, it's a tank destroyer. And it's actually very loosely based on the Jagdpanzer 4 in terms of design. Okay, spotting the enemy tanks making their way up already. As I said, it's a 105mm main gun. Oh, he gets a direct hit. Now, it's capable of 390 Alpha with the standard APCR, 268mm pen, and with the heat rounds, it's capable of 330mm pen, so it can do a lot more. Standard reload is normally 11.51 seconds. So he's got 9.77 there. Nice shot into the Black Dog, who goes down immediately afterwards. And he got the damage assist because he did track the guy as well. Unfortunately, the Jaeger on the enemy team saw our T-44 and took one shot and he's out of the game. Tier 10 game with Tier 8 tanks. He's blind firing at the lookout point, F7. Now, he didn't appear to get spotted there, so it might be that there wasn't somebody up there when he fired. Now, they actually made quite a few of these, 850 in total, 770 for West Germany and 80 for Belgium. 163 of them were later converted into what was known as the Kanonenjagdpanzer Jaguar 2, which was basically a guided missile anti-tank vehicle. So it was basically a vehicle for tow missiles or other missiles to be fired at the enemy. It was actually, oh, that was a good shot. Actually decreed outdated in 1983 because they realised, even with a 105mm gun, some of them had the 90mm gun, which was the same gun as on the M47 pattern, but it wasn't capable of penetrating enemy armour. So it wasn't capable of penetrating T-72s and the like, and other tanks. So they decided that it was time to retire the vehicle or repurpose it. And they decided to repurpose it, so that's what it was used for. In fact, it's a pity that they're not around because they could still be in use to this very day in a certain place in Eastern Europe, which of course we all know about, but we won't talk about. Yes, they could be reused. In fact, British tanks are being reused and repurposed and covered in new armour so that they can be sent to that conflict. Oh, that did not work out well. That was a sharp future 4, I should say. That's a 105mm round, getting 412 of us. Ouch. Yeah, good job that BertholomaeusRexodus ducked into cover though, because if he hadn't, he would have taken another 3 rounds, or could have taken 3 rounds. Again, he got spotted when he fired. No guarantee that he hit something. Now the timer, by the way, that's my timer because obviously I run it on my mod, so I'm not sure if BertholomaeusRexodus is using the same timer, but it does help to know exactly when you have definitely gone unspotted. Of course, you normally go unspotted after 6 seconds, but sometimes they can actually have mods which or settings. Oh, batch at 25 TAP spotted. You can have settings which actually mean you stay visible for longer if certain enemy tanks have actually been damaged, so they will actually transmit that data for a little while longer. And so it actually does pay in the long run to actually have a longer gap between actually popping out again by para. You can't see him through the hole in the building there, but there is a hole in the building there. Just not visible. Now there's no Arty in this game, otherwise this would be a very unsafe position to occupy. Of course, there are some Arty who would be able to get a shell over that rock and down onto the tanks hiding behind it. This vehicle is actually quite fast. In fact, it's very fast indeed, 70 kilometers an hour, which is the sort of speed you normally get from a light tank. So can he get a shot on that? No, can't get the Iron Army. You did get 51 rounds of ammunition, so you've got plenty of ammo to play with. And BertholomaeusRexodus is hedging his bet because he's actually spread the ammo between premium and his ordinary ammo. And he's even got a few HE rounds just in case. 480 alpha off those 53mm pens. So they don't have as much pen, but they do have the ability to damage the enemy. Now, there is something going on to the south, and really he should be looking because I think there's something going on. But he spotted this 60 TP who's trying to get around. That's very unusual. No shot on that guy. I think, is he in the dip? No, he's actually... He is on the dip. That's why it looked very, very weird. Forsic. Nice shot. 441 hit points, but it's the Wizzy 113 GF2 gets the kill. Yeah, that 60 TP managed to get to the ramp, but he's come out of the ramp now, and he's sitting behind that little copse of trees. An RT-54 first prototype sitting the other side of it. Okay, he's going to try that. Oh, there's a chieftain there now as well. How did they manage to get into that dip without being spotted? Unless, of course, they cut through the trees on the way to the village. Nice shot into the side of the 60 TP. He's looking our way. Again, they might use the rock to try and aim to one side of the rock and shoot at us. We've also got an E75 come down the hill just at the edge of the view range, and he gets another pen, this time on the M451. He's using the premium ammo to get through the armor. And E75 now, lower plate. Yes, good kill. That's his first kill of the game, actually, because of course he didn't get the kill that he wanted to on the Black Dog or on the other tanks that he hit, because somebody else jumped to it and got there before him. MXM4 again. Oh yes, this time around he's got a second kill. So this position is working out quite well for him. So it's not going to be forever though. The thing about this position is that it isn't identifiable rock on the minimap. Nice shot, but no, it's actually missed the chieftain. Oh, I thought for a second he was going to get that one. Yes, you can aim without actually having to see the rock. You can guesstimate where to actually fire to hit something that's behind it. Okay, Progetto there. Can we get a shot? Not this time. But if he goes back to the same spot, and I'm guessing he will, we might get a chance. Yeah, he's just waiting until he's unspotted. He's going to go back to the same exact spot. Meanwhile, that chieftain's going to try and make it to the spotting hill. No, he's coming back. Even after his teammates got wiped out, he's still trying to come back. Everyone who tried to attack from the hill, except one tank, got wiped out. The chieftain must have cut across the middle, like the others, when they were coming down from the hill. And that's why they suddenly appeared on the ramp, because they didn't cut across the lake for sure. Chieftain's looking, but he's not going. So I reckon that Progetto is probably in that bush, and it's well worth a shot just to see if he is. If he is, he's going to take a lot of damage. I reckon it would also be worth marking the bush. There he is. Yes, he was there, so you could have had a kill. Oh, well, if he'd actually tracked the guy, then it would have been, but we do have the T-54 in a position where he can actually capitalize on any tracking maneuver. I reckon the guy's pulled back now, so he's in the dip. That's the spotting bush, the forward bush. Charcuterie Form's moving into position. He's cutting across the field. And the Jaeger's turned up. Can we get a shot? Watch angle. Oh, he's looking directly at us. Side on. If we hit him, we'll only track him. That's a good hit. He turned just at the last moment. It's a low roll. And the Progetto goes down to our platoon mate. Well, not platoon mate, the S130PM. He got the kill shot. And there we can see the angle. That's why we couldn't get a shot in that direction. An enemy tank was killed in the gap. So that's why nothing was showing. Oh, that's another good kill. The Chieftain P goes down. He got that shell into the rear. And I saw a Jaegeru shell come back this direction. So I'm guessing he thought we were still here. Okay, tracked him. I pull back now because I think he might try an untracking fire in this general direction. Yep, pull back. Let's see if a shell goes whizzing past us at high speed. M60. Oh, yes, we can get a shot here. Big components on M60s. He gets a shot, but it's not a high roll. It's a low roll. Remember, 390 Alpha. That M60 still there, so really we can't abandon this position. Now, are we exposed to the Jaegeru on that? Yes, we are. But he's gone behind the building, so we're safe on that count. We could always shoot through the gap. He's got more than enough armor on the front of the vehicle to do that. Okay, our Char Future 4 is creeping up on that Jaegeru. And their Iron Arnie is not really making any moves to try and stop. Oh, now he got taken out. And he was taken out by the Jaegeru. Now comes the M60, who takes a hit. It's the low roll, 384, but we were spotted. Quickly get that round in. We're going to get hit. Yes. Well, we got double tapped there, unfortunately. We got hit by the Iron Arnie and by the M60 same time. And we switched to the TVP T5051 so we can continue watching the battle. We're one tank down on the enemy. That M60 is still a threat. I think the best thing to do for the moment is just... Oh, nice! I thought for a second that it was... Oh, and the S130PM's gone down, so that means the TNH T-Viz51 is the last on our team still alive. But he can still do it because there's two enemies remaining, the Iron Arnie and the Jaegeru. If he was to redeploy and go up the hill... But in fact, actually, he's just going to make a stand in this corner. I think he would be better off elsewhere. Here comes the Iron Arnie. Nice shot. And fires the second one in to track the guy, but I don't think he meant to track him. The trouble is, the Jaeger is going to be heading north straight away as fast as possible, trying to approach our cap area with 2 minutes to go. And although the Iron Arnie is a one-shot, the Jaegeru can win this game with just two shots. The question is, can the TNH Viz51 survive? There's the Iron Arnie again. Can we get a shot? There's the Jaegeru coming into sight. Well, he ricochets off with the first round. He's aiming. The Jaegeru's aiming. Oh, one hit, and he ricochets off the Jaegeru. Now, this is where I'm saying he should be up the hill so he can reset continuously the cap and potentially take them out. But if he stays where he is, the Jaeger is just going to come in, drive in, and try and take him out with one round. There's only one in the cap. It is the Iron Arnie. And yeah, it did happen. Here's the end of battle stats, and despite that being a defeat, it was an ace tanker game for BertholomaeusRexodus44x2 in the Kanonenjagdpanzer 105. Managed to get a fire for effect for doing more damage than the hit points to his own vehicle, a bruiser medal for getting at least 5 critical hits, got 7, got a Confederate as well for hitting more of the enemy than anyone else on his team, and his win rate in the game was 7,633, which is Super Unicum standard. Let's have a look at the team score. He said, what should I do more to win the battle? Well, I the only thing I think you need to do, as I said on that moment, you were shot by 2 tanks at the same time. The rock wasn't protecting you when you pulled out to try and take a shot, and you just turned to face the M60. I guess the only thing is to remember that when you are taking shots, to make sure your flanks are covered. Anyway, let's have a look at team score. The highest damage in the game actually went to the Jaeger, who managed 9,100 hit points. He got the high caliber and a top gun. Second highest damage in the game turned out to be BertholomaeusRexodus with 4,959. And the third highest damage went to the TNHT Viz51, who we saw destroyed right at the end of the game with 3,063. When it came to kills, yep, the Jaeger got 7 kills. 3 kills went to BertholomaeusRexodus, the Wizzy113 GFT, and on the enemy team, their Iron Arty also got 3 kills and still alive at the end. He got a Aslains medal for his game. When it came to base XP, it's the Jaeger who came out on top. 1,122 went to him. It's actually the Iron Arty, sorry, because he was tier 8. That's right, in a tier 10 game. 1,084 went to the Jaeger, because of course he was tier 10 in a tier 10 game. And in third place, it's actually, yes, BertholomaeusRexodus with 991. He got so much damage in that game that he actually managed to outmatch all but 2 on the enemy team when it came to base XP. So very well done on that. He fired 22 rounds, 18 direct hits on the enemy, 14 penetrations, damage of 4,959 hit points, of which 4,179 were at more than 300 meters. He received 3 hits, all 3 penetrated. The armor on this vehicle is very, very poor indeed. In fact, the strongest armor is only 90 millimeters, and that's on the front and sides of the vehicle. At the rear of the vehicles, the hull armor is very, very weak indeed. But that's why it can go so quickly. Besides, when they built the thing, they didn't actually think that any armor would stand up to modern heat rounds, and so they didn't bother to put a strong armor on the sides of the vehicle, because obviously they thought that if it was spotted, it'd be penetrated, or if it was hit. So nowadays they would be putting explosive reactive armor on the side, all those bricks to cover the outside, so that if it does get hit with a heat round, it would deflect the blast away from the vehicle. So yes, he did get hit by 3 and penetrated by 3. 11 enemy vehicles were damaged, 3 were killed, 2,267 hit points of damage assistance in that game. That's spotting assist. At least I think it may be spotting assist. Did he get a spotter? No, he didn't. So it's not spotting assist. It's where he's actually tracked the enemy vehicle and his teammates have then been able to pounce on them. Okay, he did earn a profit from this game, though. That's the lesson. 125,447 credits. Even though it was a lost game, he got the courageous resistance because, of course, he did get a medal in a losing or drawn game. And he also got 35 bonds. And on top of that, he got 3,683 experience points altogether. So despite the fact that he did get a loss, but he still got an ace tanker out for his performance. And I guess the only, as I said right at the start of this of the results, is that he needs to watch and make sure his flanks are covered, because he actually came out forward of the rock to take a shot to the south. And then when the M60 came into view, he just turned to face it, which effectively meant that he was fully visible to both the M60 and the other tank that actually hit him and took him out. So yes, he took hits from 2 tanks. The Iron Arty was the other one who hit him, yeah. He took 2 hits that maybe it should have only been 1, and therefore he might have survived the M60 if he pulled back behind the rock and then got another chance to shoot the M60 and take it out. But as it is, it was a very good game. Unfortunately, that Jaeger was way too good, and he's the one who ends up with all the medals. If you enjoyed that replay, please give this video a like, do subscribe to our channel, leave a little comment down below because it feeds the algorithm, and thank you for watching.